Welcome to America's Game of the Week. Welcome to Los Angeles, California, home of the 2-0 Rams. Today, hosting the 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending Super Bowl champions. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That's a Hall of Famer. His name is Troy Aikman, and you and I have been doing these games for 20 years together now. We've covered a lot of big games, and when Tom Brady and the Bucs come into Los Angeles to take on Matthew Stafford, this just has the feel of a massive game, like a championship game almost.
Well, it really does. I mean, I can't remember ever a game in Week 3 with this much excitement and attention, and the reason is because both these teams come into this year with a lot of expectations, and they plan to be in the postseason as they have been the last couple of years, and so you've got to believe there's some playoff implications. I know that during the week, all I have read and heard is this is why Matthew Stafford was brought to the LA Rams. And yes, that is true. But this is also why Matthew Stafford wanted to come and be a part of the Los Angeles Rams, to be in games like this, to have a chance to go all the way. And so I know that after this game today, we're going to have a much better feel for what that trade was all about and how much of an impact Matthew Stafford has had.
You talk trade, I'll talk the biggest free agent signing maybe in the history of the league or any league. Tom Brady is playing in his 45th different stadium today. For more on him, down to Erin Andrews.
And his very first time in Los Angeles, Joe. He joked with us in '97. His Michigan team played in the Rose Bowl, but he didn't get in the game. So here he is playing in LA. And here's a look at him this morning, walking around SoFi Stadium, just taking it all in. We laughed because Tom asked us, how loud does this place get? We didn't know because this is our first time here with fans too, but it's something, the noise they've been prepping for the last 2 weeks. He said it's clearly going to be an adjustment all game long. I know you guys can hear this. It is so loud, and it's all these Tampa players talked about pregame, and the fans weren't even here yet, Joe.
Well, we know that the sound system works here in this stadium.
Yeah, we sure do.
Man,
they were testing that out early, weren't they?
This is some kind of game day presentation. All right, the Rams won the toss. They defer. Tampa Bay gets the ball at their own 25. Let's send it down to the field, and Tom Rinaldi.
Well, Joe, talking to players and coaches all week, they all insisted this is not a barometer or a measuring stick game to see where the Rams might stand in the picture or pecking order in the conference. You could choose to believe that or not. The operative word they used was opportunity. We'll see what the opportunity is in the young history of this new spectacular stadium to create a real home field advantage for the Rams and to see what kind of noise they can generate down if it can disrupt this Bucs offense. We'll see how that plays out, Joe and Troy.
Yeah, they were lying. This is definitely a measuring stick game for both teams. Handoff to Leonard Fournette, and he runs right into a wall. Gets a yard, and that is it. Third 302nd career regular season start for that guy who is a 7-time Super Bowl champion. First time playing in LA, as Aaron talked about, 36th, different city. And he just likes to sprinkle greatness wherever he goes.
He sure does. Here in his 22nd year, and this is hard to say, but it's true. He's playing the best football of his career right now through 2 games.
It's just crazy. Backpedaling, finds his receiver, passes to Brate, the tight end, a yard short of a first down, a gain of 8. They're playing without Antonio Brown, who's still on the COVID list. But because of the number of skilled players they have with Tampa Bay, they can go so many different packages, and we'll see more of Cameron Brate today than we have over the first 2 weeks. Byron left with just 1 catch.
Yeah, Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, because of all these different personnel groupings that they have, because they do. It's an abundance of riches. They're sprinkling in a lot early to see how the defenses are going to play them.
That'll be 5 yards.
False start. Offense. Number 72. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Jitters and noise already a factor. They brought him in. That's Josh Wells as an extra offensive lineman on 3rd and 1.
Well, that is one of the concerns. They have not had to use silent count since Tom Brady got to Tampa Bay, because last year no crowds in the stands, and the biggest crowd they had was the championship game with the Green Bay Packers. So they worked on the silent count for the first time this week. First 2 games were at home.
Brady throws incomplete. Intended for Tyler Johnson. The false start backed him up and turns into a 3-and-out.
Yeah, good defensive series there by the Rams. They had a 3rd and short, and then the penalty backs them up. Tampa Bay got what they wanted there on 3rd down, and Tyler Johnson, because of Antonio Brown not playing today, he's going to get more looks as well. One-on-one, but just unable to get a connection for a 1st down.
Rookie punt returner back there for the Rams, Tutu Atwell. Pinion, ugly punt. Not much hang time, and Atwell able to cross the 40, knocked down at the 42. A 9-yard return and good starting field position for Matthew Stafford and this Rams offense. There are the numbers for Matthew through 2 games.
Well, he's been all that they have wanted. Week 1 on Sunday Night Football, big stage. He played almost a perfect game in that one, and then last Sunday he takes them down against the Colts, was able to get the game-winning field goal.
Pass to a wide open Cooper Kupp, and he missed him. Pressure by Devin White, and Kupp found a hole in this defense.
Well, free rusher, but because of the route, and he was as open as he was, not a factor, and this is not why it was an errant throw. Him having someone in his face just missed him. You just lay that one out on the sidelines. Cooper Kupp, you watch him. I mean, he's open like that a lot of the time.
What a start he's off to. Jake Funk, the rookie running back, gets it here, and Funk on 2nd and 10 plows ahead for 6. Vita Vea downfield to make that stop, and we're going to see some action today from Jake Funk, the 7th-round pick out of Maryland. It's hard to believe, but Andrew Whitworth, at the age of 39, 40 in December, is their best offensive lineman. That's unreal.
Yeah, and they missed him last year when he went down and missed some time. The offensive line overall has played well through the first 2 games of this season. They're going to be tested. This will be the biggest test of the year, even though we're in the 3rd game.
3rd down and 4. Stafford incomplete. Throw was behind Van Jefferson, and more pressure this time from the rookie, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. And that's 3-and-out on the other side.
Well, as I was saying, I didn't finish the thought that Matthew Stafford has been everything the Rams could have wanted through the first 2 games. This is a different animal here today, week 3, because of the interest in this game, because of the playoff implications. And I've got to believe that, he is a little wound up. He missed Cooper Kupp on 1st down. He misses the 3rd down play there. 2 wide open receivers. A disappointing series considering the field position.
Becker hits it. There'll be no return as it hops out of bounds around the 10 or 11-yard line. And they'll put it at the 11. 42-yard punt. That's where we are, California. This is America's Game of the Week. No score. Tom Brady in his rookie year in the year 2000. Shout out Conan O'Brien. And now here he is, season 22 at the age of 44, and he told us when we talked with him on Friday, he's throwing the ball better at 44 than he did at 24. And who's going to argue with it?
I'm not.
Here's a handoff to Fournette. And Leonard Fournette gets 4.
I think one of the big reasons, too, Joe, is not a lot of people know that he was playing with a pretty significant knee injury last year. And he got it cleaned out at the end of the year, and so he feels like he's throwing the ball better, even though it's not noticeable to anybody else. But he feels like he's able to get his legs into the throws and just drive the ball more than he was able to. So you look back on last year, and for a quarterback to be playing with what was a significant knee injury and show up each and every week and play the way that he did, pretty impressive.
Here's one to Brate, already 2 catches for Cameron. 3rd and short coming up. Well, this was the #1 defense last year, but they lost Brandon Staley, now the head coach of the LA Chargers. They bring in Raheem Morris. Chargers, by the way, got a big win today. They've lost some pieces, but they are still a very good group. And up front, there's nobody better than Aaron Donald.
That's for sure. Maybe ever. And I know that this defense, even though it is the same scheme, Raheem Morris kept it. It's still finding their way.
Pass is to Bernard, and he is short. Justin Hollins came up and made the stop. And that should bring up 4th down while the offense hangs out there. Are they going to go for it? Right now they're all out there.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And now he's bringing them off.
That was an outstanding play by Hollins. I mean, based on alignment, you would have thought that Bernard would have been able to outflank him and pick up an easy 1st down in the flat. It even looked like Hollins might be coming on the rush, and he played it beautifully and more importantly, made the tackle right after the catch.
Still looking for the first down of the game. Pinion hits a good one this time. Atwell back, and from outside the 25, the fair catch at the 27. Playing football. Bucks Rams, no score early. Welcome back to this phenomenal complex called SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And this stadium is gorgeous, and this matchup is exciting, and there is no score here early.
DeSean Jackson didn't get much playing time on Sunday. He's going to have a bigger role in this game. He's on the field now.
Here's a handoff to Sony Michel, former Patriot, 1st-round pick 3 years ago. He gets 4 over the right side, a late preseason trade. Darrell Henderson out with a rib injury. They lost Cam Akers to an Achilles injury, so it's down to Sony Michel and the rookie Jake Funk.
Yeah, that was a big blow, losing Cam Akers. And then Darrell Henderson, I've liked him too, but that is part of this offense, the running game. Everything comes off of that, and they just really have not been able to get that going. But if they're going to today, it's most likely going to be Sony Michel.
Pass is out to the edge, caught. Woods, 1st down. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective in a fresh set of downs for LA.
It's a nice job by Matthew Stafford. That was a running play, and then he sees that he's got a blitz off the edge, the corner, and he just gets it out there to Woods. You can see here he comes, and Matthew Stafford picks that up perfectly. There's a lot of answers in this offense. It's one of the beautiful things about it. For a quarterback, very quarterback friendly. There's a lot of answers for a lot of the things that defense can do, especially one like Tampa Bay who's so multiple.
Stafford cut off his hands and dropped by Jamel Dean. They won't come any easier than that. First Kupp and then Dean, 2 drops on 1 throw.
Yeah, I thought Cooper Kupp should have had a chance to catch this. Yeah, it gets on him a little bit quick, but I've seen him make a lot tougher than that. So you're not going to see that often from Kupp. And then Jamel Dean, that's an area for Tampa Bay where they've been really good here early. 4 interceptions on the season coming into this one.
But they've been picked apart through the air over the first couple of games, despite the 2-0 start. Here's Woods. That ball might have been tipped, and it's incomplete, and it was tipped. That was the rookie Tryon Shoyinka who got a piece of that, and it brings up 3rd down and 10.
And you know that those edge rushers like that what offenses are doing, Joe, you mentioned the passing yards that Tampa Bay's given up. It's because teams aren't even trying to run the football really against them. They just know. They've been so good against the run for so long that those throws, like what we just saw from Stafford, are what teams are doing. It's an extension of the running game. Get the ball out, get it on the perimeter, and let your playmakers run with the football. The rookie does a good job getting his hands up on that ball.
Stafford well protected. He's got Jackson broken up. And getting back there to make the play, Ross Cockrell, and he just saved a touchdown most likely.
Oh, that was a touchdown. If Stafford's able to get it out, DeSean Jackson, he's still getting separation. You see him, he's still accelerating. He's going to be past him 7-8 yards if that ball's out there. And for a guy And Deshaun Jackson, 34 years old, he still can fly down the field, and just a missed opportunity from Stafford,
who has started the game 1 for 6. We've seen 1 first down so far. Good punt by Hecker. On the return, Darden, the rookie, out of bounds at the 15 after a 51-yard punt. Well timed by Cockrell. Missed chance for the Rams. Late Sunday, week 3. Well, our good friends Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth and Michelle Tafoya will have a blast in this stadium. Super Bowl 56. Will one of these two teams be representing the NFC? Troy circles Ramsey, pass underneath. Fournette breaking tackles, and he's got the first down for Tampa Bay. Kenny Young missed a tackle, and it turns into a 15-yard catch and run.
Yeah, should have been a minimal gain, and you got 2 Rams players right there with a chance to make a play. There's 1 miss, there's 2 misses. That's the one by Kenny Young you were talking about, and winds up moving the sticks for a new set of downs. Going to get a lot of hands on Aaron Donald. That's the way it is each and every week for him. And so with that, obviously highly productive still, but those other guys, that means that they're getting one-on-one matchups, and they got to win.
Brady keeps. This one is batted down. Donald got it. Troy, it is impossible to overstate how much Aaron Donald affects the game. And he just got his hands up, he got his body up, and batted that one down.
We've talked a lot about him over the years, as everybody has that's covered the Rams, and the impact that he has. When everybody goes into a game planning for him, Ramsey coming off the edge, off that star position, the slot corner. But yeah, he's just a force. He's got a lot of different moves. He is a all-day affair for wherever he lines up, and they always know where he is.
2nd and 10, pass to Godwin, makes the catch, has a first down plus. Outran Taylor Rapp to that spot and gained 17.
Well, just by alignment, Taylor Rapp is hard inside, number 24, so there's nobody then in the flat. He's got to try to cover that. And you're just not going to cover Chris Godwin. He's got extreme quickness. Brady saw that leverage that Rapp had and knew there's no way he's going to be able to cover that out-breaking route. You know, Ramsey, we showed him there on Mike Evans, but here he is down here at the bottom, and he has only been on Evans a couple times here in the first quarter.
Scotty Miller across from him now as Brady throws underneath up to midfield. Catch is made by Fournette. We haven't seen Ronald Jones yet, who's trying to work his way out of the doghouse. Missed a blitz pickup, and when you do that and you're protecting the GOAT, you find yourself in the doghouse.
Yeah, and it didn't help that week 1 he lost a fumble against the Cowboys, and so that got him benched. Last week that got him benched in the 4th quarter, and it'll be interesting to see. But if he does get an opportunity today to get on the field, you better know his assignments.
Yeah. 2nd and 6. Fournette again. Spinning. A gain of 1. Sebastian Joseph Day, who's turned into a really good player in the middle for the Rams, made that stop.
Well, you're not kidding. He came off a monster game on Sunday against the Colts. He actually led the team with 9 tackles, had a sack, and a tackle for loss. So he's been a real force. You know, they lost Morgan Fox from last year's team, and Sebastian has been primarily a run stuffer, but he's worked himself into a 3-down player, and he stays on the field like he is now on 3rd and 5.
Brady floats it. Gronkowski is there, but he dropped it. And it's 4th down as that throw a little too far, and Gronkowski couldn't hold on.
Brady couldn't hold it as long as he wanted. Watch the pressure that gets into his face. He has to unload this ball before Gronk has gotten into the break and just tries to lay it, anticipating. That's where the years of playing together that he's able to lay that ball, and Gronk just not quite able to make the play.
Fair catch by Kupp. 39-yard punt, and that is down at the 9.
Well, Gronkowski, as we look at him, last year he played all 16 regular season games.
During the kick, holding, return team number 33. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down, timeout.
First time he's been able to do that since 2011.
Half the distance to the goal. 9 divided by 2. It'll be at around the 4.5. The great Magic Johnson, who knows a little bit about Inglewood, California, and how to thrill people. There's Larry David. He's a big Jets fan, and our buddy Jason Sudeikis is a Chiefs fan here, watching the Rams and the Bucks. By the way, Coach Beard is here too. Handoff here on first down to Sony Michel. No gain. First 2 ball games, Matthew Stafford, Troy, started out red hot in the first quarter. Today, not so much.
Yeah, I can only imagine, like we talked about. I mean, when has Matthew Stafford ever played in a regular season game with this much interest this early?
Yeah.
You know, the answer is never. So I can only imagine what's running through his veins early in the game, and he has not been very sharp.
From the end zone, Michel, they set up a screen, and that was a hard-working 6 yards for Sony Michel as Steve McClendon downfield made the stop.
Well, it's when it gets pretty tough. You're backed up, and they try running the ball on first down. They don't go anywhere, and you don't want to have to ask those offensive linemen against this front to hold for very long, so you get the ball out quick, and if they're able to get it out quick here on a 3rd and 4 and keep this drive going. They just haven't been able to get into any kind of offensive rhythm just yet. Sean McVay will call a man beater right here.
Here's Higbee on the outside. Rumbles out across the 20. And the first 3rd down conversion of the ball game.
Yeah, so they go four receivers to the top, and you got Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, and they go out and block, and then you run the man beater with Higbee coming underneath quick.
Stafford, Kupp, wide open, beauty. How about this connection of Stafford and Kupp through 2+ games? That one for 22.
It's soft on the outside, and they're trying to then run Cockrell underneath it. But there's so much space that's why he's able to get in behind that and be as open as he was. So, you know, a lot of times as an offense, you're looking for that first down, and then you can get going, and that's what happened there. They pick it up to Higbee, then the big play to Kupp.
Jamel Dean is down. Corner for the Bucks. They check on him. We take a break. Jamel Dean limped away. He is in that medical tent. D. Delaney, a first-year player from Miami, comes in.
Yeah, he comes in. I can't imagine it being very long before McVay goes after him.
Pass is caught near the sideline. Jefferson, who's really blossoming. Van Jefferson here in year 2.
Well, they targeted D. Delaney, and he started like he was going to get some safety help, and you would expect that to some extent as a player coming in for the first time. But instead, it was soft coverage, and Matthew Stafford went right after him.
And Stafford starting to heat up. He's completed 4 straight.
Stafford has been somewhat of a streaky quarterback throughout his career. And when he gets it going like he is right now in this possession, look out.
Screen for Higbee. Ball is out. And both sides say they have it. It's going to stay with LA. As Whitehead knocked it out on the hit. And I think it was Whitworth that ended up out there on the loose ball.
Pretty good design. You got Robert Woods in the backfield. We've seen that. We saw it last week against the Colts. It's new this year what they've done with him and then Kupp in the backfield. But they get the defense flowing that way, expecting that's where the ball's going to come out. They come back with the screen off of it, fortunate to still have ball in their possession.
Handoff to Michel. He is spinning down to the 35, a gain of 4. Devin White with the tackle. The Fox Super 6 app is giving you a chance to win $25,000 of Terry's money. Enter for free anytime before the start of the Jaguars-Bengals game on Thursday. Correctly answer all 6 questions for your chance at $25,000. Handoff here for the first down, and good hard running by Sony Michel. Gain of 5.
I thought Sony Michel, he had 1 carry Sunday night in the opener against the Bears. And then last week, when they lost Darrell Henderson in the 4th quarter, he came in and he had 10 carries. I thought he looked good. And I know there were a lot of expectations for him when he went in the 1st round with the Patriots. But they did not pick up his 5th-year option. And then with Cam Akers going down, like you said early, the Rams made the trade. But he's a capable back, and obviously just the mere fact that he went in the 1st round tells you he's got some real talent.
Should wind down the 1st quarter. This one is incomplete for Kupp. Flag on the play.
Yeah, they double move by Cooper Kupp, and
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 43. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It's Ross Cockrell who gets a hold of him, and I'm okay with that penalty. You know, you get beat, you overplay it, and all right, give up a few yards instead of the touchdown.
Penalties are piling up. 22nd penalty this year against Tampa Bay and Bruce Arians' team. And a lot of yards. That one just 5, but a first down. Here's Michel. He is inside the 25 to the 24. And we'll see if the Rams will just let the 1st quarter expire, a gain of 2. Two top 5 offenses coming in, no points yet. And that's it for quarter number 1. No score. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Sean McVay in his 5th season as the Rams head coach took the Rams to the Super Bowl in his 2nd year. Matthew Stafford in his 13th season in the NFL. Matthew, the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Week 1 in the win over Chicago, and the Rams have started 2-0 for the 4th straight year. This drive started at their own 5. Handoff to Michel, picking his way through the right side inside the 20. And that's play number 10 on this drive, and that's 76 yards on this possession so far.
Well, a few plays earlier, they ran a couple snaps. They got the ball to Sony Michel and had some nice gains. And Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh were both on the sidelines, you know, for those 2 runs. So now they put those guys back in the game. But even there, that perimeter run, they were able to get pretty decent yardage, making this at least a 3rd and short.
3rd down and 3. Stafford protected. Over the middle. Pass is caught. 1st down LA. Woods for 6.
Well, they're trying to take a shot up the sidelines for a touchdown. And they got Van Jefferson, who's working that wheel route, and it's not there. But Robert Woods, he's able to slide in there. He finds a hole, sits down, and Stafford getting through that progression finds him.
He created a hole by drilling Devin White. Pass to Higbee. Forced out by Lavonte David. And a gain of 6. Gerald Everett and Tyler Higbee were the top 2 tight ends for the Rams here over this recent stretch. Everett now in Seattle. Higbee left behind, and he is a featured performer for Matthew Stafford.
I think he's an outstanding role player for this offense, knowing exactly what he is being asked to do, and he's someone who runs good routes and can win those matchups when he needs to.
Hand off to Michel, and there's White. Phenomenal young linebacker, and paired with Lavonte David, they are so good in the middle. Devin White made that stop. He had help. Third down coming up again.
And then after the year that they had last year, winning the Super Bowl, and you look at this defense and how dominant they were, they just got better and better. I think everybody around the league wanted to try to find these linebackers that could run sideline to sideline and hit the way those two did. What a show they put on throughout that postseason.
Fourteenth play of the drive. Throw high. Higbee, touchdown.
That's that perimeter passing game I was talking about. That's an extension of the run game. These guys all get out in front, and they all help out, and they get the ball then to Higbee, and he's got 3 blockers out in front of him, and then he just barrels it in for the touchdown.
Extra point is good, and for Matthew Stafford, if he started out a little amped up, a little bit off, 8 for 8 on that drive. Started at the 5, ends in the end zone. The Rams have the first points of the day. Tyler Higbee talking about his touchdown catch with Dr. Neil Elatrosh over on the bench. There's a guy, that's when you want to see Neil.
That's right.
You don't want to be in the waiting room and talk about the touchdown you had.
Yes, sir.
7-0. Rams on top. Impressive 95-yard drive for the first points. Here's Darden on the return, and he slips before getting to the 25.
Big drive by the Rams, going 95 yards on that scoring drive. And Tyler Higbee, what a job he does. On third down, he's able to pick up the first down that keeps the drive going, and then the touchdown comes back. Got offensive linemen out in front of him here. But earlier in that drive, when they were backed up, they ran a similar screen principle with receivers blocking for them that allowed them to keep that drive alive, which ultimately led to the touchdown.
From the 24, quick throw. Pass out on the edge, and that's not just the first catch, it's the first target for Scotty Miller, who was one of the heroes in the NFC Champ game at Lambeau with that 39-yard touchdown reception last play before the half. Not a good start for this offense here in LA. And Ronald Jones checks in for the first time in the game.
All right, Ronald, here's your chance.
Brady going to air it out. He's looking for Evans, and contact, but incidental as he's working against Ramsey. They got their feet tangled.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of that here in this first half with Ramsey matched up on Evans. As I said, last year, week 11, there's a little bit of a grab there, it looked like, by Ramsey. Got away with it. But week 11 last year, Ramsey went with Evans just about every snap, all but about a handful of plays, and Evans had 4 catches, but really wasn't able to do much with it. And Tampa Bay was trying to get something going. But today they've mixed it up, and Ramsey hasn't been traveling with them.
Here's Bernard out of the backfield, puts his head down, and that ball will roll out of bounds. Let's see where they put it down. Awfully close to first down yardage. And they're giving him a first down.
Yeah, and Gio Bernard has spent his career with the Cincinnati Bengals, and he comes here and he gives this offense, he gives Brady another weapon, like he needs another one, but it's a threat that he had in New England. He's not James White, but Brady was used to having that type of guy out of the backfield. Didn't have it last year, but Bernard can do some things catching the football.
Hand off to Jones. And Ronald Jones with his first carry gets 5. Let's check in with Curt Menefee, who has a game break.
All right, the Seahawks have had a double-digit lead at halftime each week. They're on that pace right now. Chris Carson, 30-yard touchdown run, and they've got a 10-point lead over the Vikings, 17-7 right now in Minnesota. Joe.
How good is this NFC West? Arizona went to 3-0 earlier today. Here are the Rams. San Francisco, they have a date with Green Bay. And then Seattle with a heartbreaking loss last week, but leading here. Kenny Young makes that play on Jones, a loss of 1.
Yeah, Kenny Young, he's able to just shoot the gap. They're not able to look like they're trying to get Ryan Jensen up to the next level to block him, and he's just so fast. He got ejected on Sunday for bumping into an official in the fourth quarter. I'm sure he's thrilled that he's able to come back today in such an impactful ball game against Tampa. Makes a big play on second down.
Evans has only been targeted once. Pass is caught. Godwin. First down. Good throw, good catch. Gain of 7. Ramsey had pressure on that play.
Yeah, they brought Ramsey a few times, and he's coming in on Brady, and Brady sits in there tight, and he knows that he's got to get it out, but that's only good if you've got someone who's got some separation, and Godwin does a good job on that route of giving him a place to go.
It is loud inside this stadium. Flag on the play. Brady pulls it down, throws to the sideline, and finds Jones. Gain of 3 at the moment.
I think Brady might have lost sight of the safety. You see Wirfs trying to get a hold of Ryan Jensen. They're going at it with Donald. We'll see what this penalty is.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 80 covered up number 87. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So more, you talk about some of these penalties, Joe. Coming into this game, the 3rd most penalized team in football, and last year, they didn't have those kinds of things, and the turnovers that they've had, and this year just hasn't been quite as crisp.
Fake the handoff. They get it out on the edge. Ramsey makes the play on Jalen Darden.
He's the real deal, isn't he? You don't see a lot of cover corners that play this physical and aggressive the way that he does. It's really what has impressed me about Jalen the most. Yeah, he can run and he can cover, and you put him in the conversation for the best there is in the game, but he does those kinds of things that a lot of cover corners just won't do.
Blitz. Bucks pick it up, and there's a first reception by Evans. Working against Darius Williams, and Williams was looking for a push-off call, didn't get it. Gain of 17.
When you bring the blitz from that far back, it almost is a moot point. You're just not going to get there. You're definitely not going to get there against Tom Brady. He just has a great feel for when guys are free rushers and getting the ball out and beating them with the football. He's already done it a few different times in this half.
Trying to get Jones rolling. First down carry of 4, great gains on the stop. Every Wednesday, The Masked Singer brings you the biggest superstars. The new season is here. Watch the crazy reveals right now and catch all new eye-popping episodes every Wednesday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. Best drive of the game by the Buccaneers after the Rams put up the game's first points. 10th play. Godwin on the outside. Ramsey forces him out short of the first down.
Yeah, no Mike Evans on the field for that play. It's Scotty Miller, and now they're, well, Evans started to come out onto the field. He goes back. They come out with 2 tight ends, Cameron Brate and Rob Gronkowski, and also the 3rd tight end.
O.J. Howard in there. So a big group up front on 3rd and 1. Jones carries and gets it. So another 3rd down conversion by Tampa Bay as they trail by 7.
The other thing that Tampa Bay does a little bit more than other teams, and we're seeing it right here, is Josh Wells, number 72. He comes into the game as a 6th lineman. You would expect that on 3rd and 1 that we just had. But he comes in on early downs. You know, here we are on the 31-yard line, and they bring in a 6th offensive lineman, but it's not always run.
Good protection. Wide open is Gronk. And Rob Gronkowski sets up 1st and goal.
Just totally a blown coverage by the Rams. They run the deep post. That takes out 2 guys, and it opens up that area of the field to the right side. But just nobody within 20 yards of Gronkowski when he caught that ball. It's a good answer right here. Well, Tampa Bay, after the Rams went down and got the touchdown, they come back and they've got a nice drive going. Now can they finish it off?
Evans and Gronkowski. Targets that Brady looks for, and he has to use a timeout. And so over to the sideline goes Brady.
Well, what's interesting is because they used that timeout, Aaron Donald was not on the field. And now they use the timeout. It gives Aaron Donald a chance to get back out there in the game.
You know who else wasn't on the field? Gronkowski. So 1 for 1.
Yeah, you could look at it that way.
Yeah. So this, you know, early it was in fits and starts, and a slow start for Matthew Stafford, but then he heated up 8 for 8 on that touchdown drive. And now, as you said, a nice answer being put together by Tom Brady.
Yeah, pretty methodical drive by Tampa Bay, and mixing run and pass, and Tom Brady being efficient with the football.
Jones, not much, maybe half a yard, and Leonard Floyd was in there. And not alone. 2nd and goal.
Well, down here, and they bring him in. Mike Evans was on the sidelines. They bring him in. He's obviously a big red zone target for this offense, as is Gronkowski. They go trips to the field. Sometimes they like to then work Gronkowski on the backside of it.
Bernard, play gets strung out. Bernard spins his way to the 2. A'Shawn Robinson there for LA, 3rd and goal.
Had the right idea. That was a lot of Bernard running there. Some good tough running.
Mike Evans has 7 touchdown receptions from inside the 5-yard line, which is 2nd most in the NFL since last year, and he's on the sideline here. And it's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, I'd be looking up 87, Gronkowski. He's over there with O.J. Howard at the top of the screen.
Godwin gets it on the handoff, and he's in. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Strong answer by the Buccaneers, the world champs. With the extra point to come, down by 1.
Well, good strong blocking by Gronkowski and O.J. Howard, and there was a Rams defender that was in the area and wasn't real sure exactly where the ball was. But that's a good job on Leonard Floyd of giving a crease. A couple plays there on 2nd down and 3rd down by Byron Leftwich, and they're able to get it in with the running game.
Under 5 to go in the half, and we're tied at 7. Godwin plows it in on the ground. A touchdown run. Leftwich loves it. We're tied. That game-tying 15-play drive, the longest for Tom Brady with the Buccaneers. The 15 plays in each team's touchdown drive featured 4 third-down conversions, including the touchdowns. And for Tampa Bay, Godwin has his first career touchdown run. Out to the 25 it will come for Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense. Matthew set several franchise records in Detroit. Unfortunately, his stellar play never got the Lions past wildcard weekend. But now, raise that shade. He's in LA, a fresh start. Sean McVay. And he's got a tremendous supporting cast. Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, a team that was playing New England in the Super Bowl at the end of the 2018 season is hoping to get there in their home stadium this season. Stafford throws, Kupp catches and gets 9.
Hell of a convertible they were riding in too, so that's good. Southern California. I will say, 3 playoff berths. When you look at Matthew Stafford in his career, we know 4 winning seasons is all he had with the Detroit Lions, and the 3 berths, and then didn't win a playoff game. And so you come here, making the playoffs is not enough, clearly. And that's why I say a lot of people saying, well, now he gets a chance to prove, why the Rams brought him. But this is why he wanted to come. He wanted to play in these big games.
Handoff to Michel, bounces off a couple of tackles and gets a first down, and sends us to Tom Rinaldi.
Joe, at no point in our chat with Matthew Stafford yesterday did he have anything critical to say about his time in Detroit, but you could hear the spark in his voice, and at one point saying, I'm having a ton of fun here. This is what I imagined NFL football would be like.
Here's Michel with a catch up to the 40, and Levante David made that stop.
That was quite a statement too, wasn't it? When he said that, it's one sentence that we all walked away from saying, wow, you know what? He's right. It is what you imagine NFL football to be like, and unfortunately, not everybody gets to experience that. So this is really energized Matthew Stafford. He's not shying away from the challenge and the expectations. He's embracing it. And if he's not an MVP candidate at the end of the year, I'll be shocked. I thought that when they made the trade. I thought it was a great trade, and I expected to have maybe a career year.
Flag on the play. Pass is incomplete. With Deshaun Jackson the target. Looked like Tampa Bay may have come across early.
Well, Sony Michel, he steps up, makes a great block, and a blitz pickup.
Offside. Defense, number 54. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
You see 25 step in here and taking on Devin White. That's not an easy assignment at all.
I tell you, with no Sean Murphy Bunting, who's out with a dislocated elbow, and now Jamel Dean with a leg injury that they're going to look at halftime. Todd Bowles, short of sending a plane for Richard Sherman, has got his hands full trying to defend against this Rams offense.
He really does. I mean, they are so short-handed. We talked about D. Delaney coming in off the bench, first-year player. He's at the top of the screen. but there's a lot of favorable matchups for the Rams.
Here they hand off on second down, and Michel swallowed up by Shaq Barrett, who has always been good rushing the passer, but he's really added stuffing the run to his resume, as he does right here. Stafford happy just to hang on to that snap. 2-minute warning in LA, tied at 7. Celebs and ex-stars all over the place. NFL stars, Eric Dickerson, the great Mike Tyson, the great Sugar Ray. Everybody having fun. People came in thinking we were going to see an offensive explosion. That hasn't happened yet. Higbee, he's been busy. First down, LA at the Tampa Bay 45. And for Matthew Stafford, that's 11 straight completions after a 1-6 start.
Just an excellent route by Higbee. He's got Mike Edwards in coverage, and he's banged up. And that's not good.
Good protection, aired out. Jackson doesn't see it. And was underthrown anyway. Pressure on the play by Vita Vea. But I don't think Jackson ever really located the ball.
No, he didn't locate it because he's expecting it way down the field, and it was way underthrown. You've got David Edwards, number 73. Vita Vea goes right through him. Ooh. You can see why it was underthrown. Stafford unable to get into the ball. And Deshaun Jackson, he just can't believe it. He doesn't know what happened in the backfield. He'll find out tomorrow when they watch the film. But he's just wondering why he didn't get the ball, and Stafford just had no chance. Vita Vea just freight trained David Edwards.
Second down, Van Jefferson. The completion streak was snapped on that deep throw to Jackson. He tries to start another, that one for 21.
Well, you're not expecting that kind of throw, that route to be able to be run. They're in a two-man coverage, and yet they keep a skinny post on, and just an excellent route and a good throw by Stafford.
Stafford, that play broken up. Kupp was the target, and there's Cockrell again. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's been reported that they've been kicking the tires on maybe bringing in a Richard Sherman or somebody to help. They restructured the contract of Ali Marpet to free up $4 million. You have to believe with these injuries piling up back there, that becomes more of a likelihood.
There's nobody on. There goes Devin White now, but you're right. Todd Bowles is in a little bit of a quandary. I mean, right now they're matched up one-on-one across the board. But he's been trying to give him a little bit of help.
Stafford, Kupp. Oh, what a throw. Out of bounds near the 2, maybe the 1. Absolutely beautiful to watch.
Well, it's just a really good play design by Sean McVay. So he sees man coverage, and you've got 3 receivers to the field. The outside guys, they go inside, and then you got Kupp on a wheel route around the edge of it. And he just an outstanding job by Kupp. I mean, this is an offense that prays that you're going to go man-to-man coverage because of the guys that can create separation the way that they can. And it was D. Delaney. Are you kidding me? He comes in off the bench for the injured Jamel Dean, and he's asked to cover Cooper Kupp. Good luck.
Tyler Higbee back in the ballgame.
Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh not in the game.
Wide open, Kupp, touchdown Rams.
I think maybe the Rams might have gotten away with one here. Robert Woods, they're expecting man coverage, and he picks off the man in coverage, Carlton Davis, on Kupp, and that's why he was as open as he was.
You just can't start any better than Cooper Kupp has started the 2021 season. He's got Stafford throwing it to him. How's this combo any good? McVay, Stafford. Rams up 7. How proud are these two of their 44-year-old son, Tom Brady, who in this game has gone 14 of 18. He's found 8 different receivers, and he is 23 yards passing shy of 80,000 in his career.
I can't get my head around 80,000 passing yards.
And Brady and the offense will set up at the 25. Let's check in with Kurt and find out what's coming up at the half.
Kurt, what the heck are you doing? Just telling the kids what's up on the Verizon halftime.
Well, there you have it. Reading it along with the rest of us. Interesting day around the NFL here in week 3. See if the Buccaneers have an answer here at the end of the half. Pass is caught. Good catch. Flag on the play. Godwin out near the 45. Flag was in the secondary. Right now it's a 20-yard completion.
Pass interference. Offense, number 87. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
You see Gronk at the top of this route. Not there. He pushes off right past that, and it had no bearing on the play whatsoever. You know, he got his hand extended when he was running his route, but you can tell Bruce Arians not happy about it, and I get it because it didn't impact the success of that play.
Brady, Evans, and incomplete as he works against Darius Williams. Well, I mean, you think of what just happened. A 20-yard completion gets erased by that offensive pass interference, and they're backed up with only 40 seconds
left. That's right. You're backed up, and, you know, what are you going to try to do? I mean, you hate to risk giving the ball back to the Rams with a chance to do anything before the half.
It's 2nd and 20. Bernard got a block, has a first down and more out across the 45. Timeout Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'll say. You know, so a good call by Byron Leftwich. I mean, they want to keep the clock running and not risk an incompletion for the reasons that I talked about, 2nd and long. So they come with the screen pass, and it's set up, and then it's all Gio Bernard. Good blocking down. Ryan Jensen, good job. I mean, for an offensive lineman, a center, to get that far down the field the way he did, that's really admirable work by him. Really good stuff. Picks up the first down, and now Tampa Bay, they got the idea of coming away with some points. That's good work.
The initial block was Ali Marpet that helped spring that play as well. So the Bucs have one timeout, 31 seconds left in the half. The Rams, by the way, will get the ball to start the second half.
Ryan Succop's career long is 54 yards. That's the 36-yard line where they'll need to get to.
Over the middle, Evans makes the catch and able to get out of bounds. It's a big play. They saved the timeout. 25 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, really soft coverage by the Rams. They just gave that up. I mean, gave that throw up and let him catch it. Now, you know, can they rally and make a tackle? They weren't able to, because like you said, he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock with still a pretty good gain. So they're knocking on the door of being able to at least take an attempt on 3 points.
Timeout taken by the Rams now on defense. So Tom Brady officially over 80,000, joining Drew Brees. He's the only quarterback to throw for 80,000 plus pass yards in this league.
Well, this is Aaron Donald time now.
And there's Donald. Ball comes out, and Bernard ends up with it and dives out of bounds with another first down. Aaron Donald. It's a forward fumble inside of 2 minutes. And it's going to have to come back to the spot of the fumble as Donald, Troy, makes this play, and that hand is empty.
Yeah, it's totally empty. That's his speed rush off the edge. He's got a lot of moves, and you don't know which one you're going to get all the time, and he just comes flying off the ball. He had been disruptive early in this game, and then Tampa Bay had been doing a pretty good job here over the last couple of possessions of keeping him contained, but that's why I say Aaron Donald, he has a feel for when he is needed and for the moment, and man, he delivered here. They got two guys looking for him.
Troy, Craig Rolstead was about to let this next play happen and then was buzzed, I believe,
on the field
by the
ball
booth.
Was fumbled forward, so it would return to the spot of the fumble. The previous play is under review.
And I think they're going to end up getting this call right, but they were delayed in marking it off. And Mike Pereira is with us, and we're happy to have him back in the booth with us, but it seems, Mike, like they're getting this call correct now.
Yeah, there's no question, Joe. It is a fumble, and the fumble rule inside of 2 minutes is only the fumbling player can recover and advance. Now, what they will look at is it a forward or backward? So, you know, you have the potential to say it's a backward pass, then it could be advanced. But in this case, it still is touched after moving forward. So they'll, I'm sure, agree in replay that it comes back to the spot.
Which eliminates what turned into a productive play for Tampa Bay. It also took time off the clock. Right now there are 16 seconds left. And the call again on the field is they're going to move the ball back to the spot of the fumble, but they're in a booth review. Play was a 1st and 10 at the 39, and the hit and the fumble happened at the 46. And what a scene it is here in this stadium, where it has been loud since before the opening kickoff. People in here having a blast.
It's been so great to see. When the Rams left St. Louis and came to Los Angeles, we did their first home game.
The previous play is confirmed. The ball was fumbled forward, therefore it returns to the 45-yard line. The clock is good.
So they'll put it at the 45, and they'll leave the clock at 16 seconds.
Yeah, so they get that right. Good job by the officials. Great play by Aaron Donald. But what I was going to say is when we did that game at the Coliseum, there wasn't a lot of fans there at the game. And then they had plans to build this huge stadium, and you just kind of wondered. Well, they brought in Sean McVay. They went from a losing franchise to a playoff contender each year. And this place is packed, and it is awesome.
2nd down and 16 now, back at the 45. Brady underneath. Pass is caught. Miller dancing around.
Yeah. That's the problem, Joe. He was dancing around. You get the ball and you just take what you can get, and you pick up a few more yards that are really important to this field goal attempt.
Kenny Young made that tackle. And the timeout, the final one for the Buccaneers, is they'll try to get 3 here before half and make it a 4-point game.
Well, big play. A big play. It looked like it was about to be a chance for the Rams to maybe get one last possession before the end of the half and come away with potentially another 3 points. But the screen play on 2nd and long to Gio Bernard sets up this field goal attempt for Ryan Succop,
which would be 55 yards and a new career long for Succop on a day when Justin Tucker won a game with a 66-yarder for the Ravens over the Lions. Heartbreaking for Dan Campbell and company, and what a moment for Tucker and the Ravens. Not close. Why is he so excited? The Rams are 39-0 when leading at the half under Sean McVay. 2nd longest streak all time. Let's go to Kurt in the Fox studio for the Verizon halftime. As we welcome you back here in Los Angeles and welcome you into the broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck. That's Troy Aikman. Not a ton of points, but that was a fun, entertaining first half.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, neither team ran the ball particularly well. Matthew Stafford started out a little bit slow, and then 14 of 16 on his last 16 passes, so he heated up. They get the ball to start this second half. What's Todd Bowles going to do is the real question, because I just don't think they can cover these receivers. They're thin coming into the game. They have another injury. I think they've put him in a really tough position, and with no turnovers in the first half, is that going to end up being the difference in this game? Can one of these defenses make a big turnover that changes the outcome? But a lot to look forward to here in this second half, with both offenses putting together some pretty good drives in the first half.
This one is boomed into the back of the end zone, so out to the 25 and down to Tom Rinaldi we go.
Joe, catching up with Coach McVay, more than any particular strategic point, he was pleased with his team's overall competitiveness in the end of the first half. And more important than anything he had to say, take a look at his reaction as that first half ended, without giving up points on that final drive. I asked McVay, when's the last time you left the field that quickly with that kind of emotion? He said, I don't think I ever have. If that doesn't suggest to you the importance of this game to him and this staff, those pictures should prove it, Joe.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. As Tom said early, neither side willing to say this is a measuring stick game, but it is, as Michelle gets swallowed up, and we send it to Erin Andrews.
And Troy was just asking, what is this Todd Bowles defense going to do here in the second half? Bruce Arians saying, well, our front needs to get home. We need to get to Matthew Stafford because we were clearly asking way too much of this injured secondary, which the news isn't good on quarterback Jamel Dean. He is out for this game. For the Bucs offense, he said we need to finish drives and make plays. They want that protection on Tom Brady to be better because he needs to make those throws down the field, Joe.
Yeah, I think they have to feel like they left points out there on the field too at the end of the half. They trail by 7. Buccaneers with no sacks in the ball game. Good protection, and the throw out of the reach of Woods. Covered by Ross Cockrell.
Well, I know in visiting with Sean McVay, and he talked about, as most teams, we said it early, it's hard to run the football against this defense, and they haven't had much success. But at what point do they abandon it? I don't know that they will, but the strength is attacking them in the air.
Boy, no pressure on Stafford. Jackson, they finally hit it. Deshaun Jackson, touchdown. And Sean McVay was the first down there to welcome Jackson back onto the field after he went up the tunnel.
Well, safety falls down. Mike Edwards, no pressure on Stafford whatsoever. 3rd and long, a 4-man rush. And Jackson really doesn't do much, but the safety, Edwards, he was biting as though he was expecting Deshaun Jackson to run a square in. And he was going to try to drive on that, and as he's trying to drive on it, he falls, and so nobody around.
Extra point is good. 75 yards. So one of the great deep threats in this game over the past couple of decades. There's another deep threat. McVay showing his speed. Happy for Deshaun Jackson. 14-point game. Well, we've been waiting for this combination to connect really since the start of the game. Sean McVay said during the week he's dying to get Deshaun Jackson more involved.
Yeah, I mean, they had 2 other shots in the first half. He could have 3 long touchdowns if they'd gotten the ball out there to him. But Todd Bowles called the right coverage to not give up the big play. Mike Edwards, this is a roll corner. Cover 2, and you should not give up the deep ball, but it's a little bit of a square in and go, and Mike Edwards is cluing on Matthew Stafford, and the little shoulder move right there was just enough to get Edwards to try to drive on it, and that's when he lost his footing and just opened Deshaun Jackson, but no pressure at all from the Tampa front.
They haven't gotten home yet. And now a false start on this offensive line. And Donovan Smith.
False start, offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So a 2-0 start for Bruce Arians' team, but a lot of yards given up through the air with their defense. Penalties, mistakes pile up. They've gotten away with it for 2 weeks. They're going to be hard-pressed to get away with it here today. High snap. Brady, good protection. Wide open is Evans. And Mike Evans still won't go down as he stands up some defenders at the 40, a gain of 20.
Yeah, we haven't had that matchup. This is Darius Williams out there that's covering him. And we haven't had the matchup with Evans on Ramsey. It surprises me just because he saw so much of Ramsey last year, week 11. But Ramsey, he's been lining up all over the place. Something he did a lot of last year. And that was new for him. He did not line up inside. He's lined up inside again now. He did not line up inside in Jacksonville.
Handoff here on first down to Fournette. As we look at the day for Jalen Ramsey and where he's been.
Yeah, so he's lined up all over the field. He's been outside. He comes in and he lightens in on the slot. And sometimes he's in zone coverage, and then other times he's in man. And sometimes even when he's playing outside, they'll give him a safety help, which you never see. But they do it just enough that as a quarterback, you can't get a bead on what they're doing based on where he's aligned.
Pass over the middle, Gronkowski. Good throw, good catch in traffic for 15 and a first down.
Well, he threaded the needle there. 3 defenders, and he anticipated Gronkowski getting into that window. Number 87 right in the middle. He bangs it on him. He's able to beat the defenders with the football. He's still got plenty of arm. He might play till he's 50.
3 tight ends in the game for the Buccaneers. They faked the handoff. And they were trying to set up something to Fournette. He went down, and so Brady just threw it away.
They had it set up pretty good. That Fournette, if he hadn't have fallen down, you tell Brady when you've got the screen pass on and the guy you're going to throw the screen ball to is on the ground, it plays over.
First time for Brady playing in LA in the NFL. His hands are full. 2nd and 10.
One-on-one at the bottom with Evans.
That's where Brady goes. Catch is made, and a good run after the catch. Working against David Long Jr. And it's going to be enough for a first down.
He's been on him a lot outside because Ramsey has been inside most of this game. So you're either going to draw David Long then on him or Darius Williams, and I'd have to believe that Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich like those matchups very well.
Brady, Gronkowski gets popped. Got hit hard by Terrell Lewis. And Gronkowski's down. And hopefully just got the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, it's just right in that area. And I can't tell if Gronkowski, it doesn't look like he wears rib protectors. It's right in that area, right below the chest plate, where that part, the ribs, are totally exposed.
Painful 6-yard catch for one of the best to ever do it. They check on him. We'll step aside. Well, into the medical tent goes Rob Gronkowski. And here is why this hit by Lewis. So his good friend, his quarterback, Tom Brady, was hovering over him until he got up. So they look at him. Meanwhile, it's 2nd and 4. Quick setup and throw, and the pass caught by Fournette. Bucs still not running the ball. Only have 10 carries for 21 yards. They're about 75% pass in this game.
I can assure you that Tom is a little shook up about Gronkowski going down. He prides himself. Now, I'm not saying he didn't really lead him into coverage. There's a ball that was behind him a little bit. It exposed him. You know, you're going to take hits when you catch the ball in the National Football League, but I know Tom really prides himself on protecting his guys, especially a guy as valuable as Gronkowski.
Screen here for Brate, and the tight end has blockers. Brate out of bounds near the 1. With Jensen and Wirfs out in front, that convoy took it for 17.
Well, they motioned Chris Godwin down, and then he clears through the middle. He gets Ramsey out of there, and then you've got lead blockers out in front. Pretty good design here by Tampa Bay offensively. So when Godwin comes through, Ramsey turns and runs, and the other guys to that side are playing soft zone. And they're able to get blockers up in front, and a nice pickup.
Gronk exits, Brady takes it. No signal yet. Looked like he got in, but no signal. Touchdown. And that drive and that finish, exactly what Tampa Bay needed.
Boy, you say that again. I mean, after the big play to Deshaun Jackson, and you just got to keep score with them. You know, you can't stay down 2 scores. This was a really critical drive for Tampa Bay, and Tom Brady and company, they answer.
So Brady gets the rushing touchdown.
He rushed for a first down last Sunday, which don't see a lot of that either.
26th career rushing touchdown for Tom Brady. And the extra point is good. 7-point game. So they lost Gronkowski on the drive. For how long, we don't know. But Cameron Brate set it up, and Brady took it in. Rams up 7. Coinciding with the start of Latinx Heritage Month, the NFL launched its Por la Cultura initiative to celebrate the vibrancy, commonalities, and differences within the Latinx community. Visit NFL.com/porlacultura to learn more. And Jalen Ramsey, who is obsessed with mariachi bands, arrived at the stadium today in his own mariachi outfit. And he's been all over the place once this thing kicked off. Here is today's Domino's stat tracker. We look at the Rams, who started the day their first 2 possessions with punts. Since then, 3 straight touchdown drives, and there's Stafford, Kupp, and Higbee.
Tampa Bay just has not had an answer, and Todd Bowles is trying to call some things to give these young corners an opportunity to be able to make a play, but you know, they have to find a way to make a stop. And that's not easy to do.
Throw to Jefferson, and he gets brought down. What a good play by Cockrell. Let's go down to Aaron.
Joe, just an update on you for Bucs tight end Rob Gronkowski. We see the big hit coming up here. He is in the back going for x-rays. We are unclear if it's for his ribs or his back. As Troy mentioned, he does not wear a rib protector. Bruce Arians saying to us this week, best shape he's seen him in. Had a great camp. Can only hope this guy's all right.
You know number 12 does for sure. Then he went to the other tight end, Cameron Brate, for 17 yards to set up the touchdown run to make it a 7-point game. I mean, Stafford's got all day, and he's able to throw, but low and incomplete for Michel.
Yeah, he's got all day because the inside pass rushers, Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh, they are on the field now on 3rd down, but they were on the sidelines there on 1st and 2nd. Big 3rd down right here for Tampa Bay. This is big if they're able to force a 3 and out.
Pass is caught, spinning grab by Robert Woods. First down.
Well, the timing of this throw, when Stafford turns it loose there before Woods even gets into the hole. You're going to see where Woods is at the top, but Stafford cuts it loose, and then Woods does a great job adjusting.
Stafford chased by Sue. Woods is missed.
You know, Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, they've been doing it for a while. And a couple of years ago, I had an opportunity to go watch their OTAs. I spent 3 days with them up there in Thousand Oaks. And the way that they run routes today is the way they were running routes in May of that year. And they're as good a route runners as anyone in the league. And it's fun to watch. They come off the ball, they're running full speed, they put a lot of pressure on a secondary, and when you're shorthanded the way Tampa is, they're almost unstoppable.
Second down, Stafford fires, and catch is made by Jackson. He was met immediately by Mike Edwards, coming off a 2-interception, 2-touchdown game in the win against Atlanta. 5-yard pickup, third down.
Well, they're going empty set. Deshaun Jackson is right inside here.
Stafford, there he is, Jackson. Deshaun forced out near the 10. They'll mark him at the 8. And 42 more yards.
Well, the defenders, they get in there, and all of a sudden you've got Devin White who's cutting off his own man, Carlton Davis, and it opens up, you know, just because of the defense not playing it correctly and giving free access to your own defender, opens up Deshaun Jackson. Sean McVay told us on Friday that he was going to have a bigger part in the game plan. He was disappointed in himself that he didn't get Deshaun in over the first couple of weeks, and boy, has he today.
They move the ball back to the 10. It's first and goal. Stafford. Kupp. Touchdown.
The creativity of the routes. Cooper Kupp, he starts to the outside, then he's going to come under. Nope, he's going back outside. Carlton Davis thought he read him like a book. He was going to cut in front of it and pick that ball off, or at least make a play on it. You can't do that either without time in the pocket. That's close. This guy is really something. He's really made himself into a #1 wide receiver. I mean, just each year he just continually gets better. Cooper Kupp is who I'm talking about. That guy's been pretty phenomenal for a long time. But it looks...
Well, they're looking at it, which is making anybody in fantasy football that has Cooper Kupp furious, because he may be down because of his shin. And I mean inches from the pylon.
Does that mean you have him on your fantasy team?
I don't think I do. I haven't even paid attention. They're going to go with it. Touchdown.
I think when his knee was down, the point of the ball was on the white stripe. I think it was a good call.
Okay, I'm just going with what Slugworth down there, Pereira's whispering in my ear. And it's back to a 14-point game.
Is Pereira wearing a three-piece today?
Did the sun come up? 14-point game. Cooper Kupp gets another. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The last 4 Rams drives have ended with Matthew Stafford touchdown passes, and that's got that defense a little frustrated.
Sure does. They haven't been able to make a stop. Third downs, 80% for the Los Angeles Rams against the defending Super Bowl champs. Cooper
Kupp is right now unstoppable. First player in Rams history with 5 or more touchdown catches in his first 3 games this season since 1951. Crazy Legs, Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch had 6, and Crazy Legs Cup has got 5.
Anytime you've been compared to Crazy Legs, it's a good day, right? I mean,
sure. I've never been compared to Crazy Legs.
Nor have I. But he is uncoverable. I don't think anybody can cover him man-to-man.
Brady throws, pass caught. O.J. Howard gets in on the act. He's got a first down with his first catch. Missed the majority of last year with a torn Achilles.
Yeah, with Gronk going down, they need him more. You know, they like the 2 tight end packages. They mix it up, and they're bringing him out now. They bring in Cameron Brate, but they rotate those guys through. Bruce Arians said that O.J. Howard's probably 90-95%. It's a big injury coming back from, and he's not quite all the way there, but a lot of pressure on Tom Brady offensively to try to keep pace.
Ducks through a sack and turns it into a positive play. As Greg Gaines missed the sack, and Brady at 44 gets 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, Gaines is going to be thinking about that one all night long. The one he missed when he could have sacked the GOAT. But good escapability by Tom. But like I was saying, here it is, 2nd and medium. But you know, the defense unable to take a stop. Tom Brady knows that they have to score a touchdown, and if they don't, it's almost game over. The way that the defense is played.
Brady is sacked for the 2nd time. It's Kenny Young.
Kenny Young just overpowers Gio Bernard. Bernard's not a real big guy, and he goes right through him. Now, I will also say that the coverage by the secondary, Tom's usually pretty good. When he feels pressure, he's getting the ball out, and he's not going to take a sack. But there was just nowhere for him to go with the ball.
You have to really give credit to Raheem Morris, former head coach of the Buccaneers. He continued what was already happening with the Rams defense. This will be a false start on Miller, I believe.
False start. Offense. Number 10. The 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
This crowd right now, they're at a fever pitch. I mean, there's Raheem Morris, and you're right. I mean, he came in, he brought us some of his ideas, but pretty much taken on what they were doing last year within this scheme. He's added to it a little bit. But this crowd, it's been a long time since we've heard a crowd like this in Los Angeles for a football team.
3rd false start against the Buccaneers because of it. They set up a screen for Bernard. Hello, Aaron Donald.
Just Aaron Donald being able to sniff it out and know exactly where he has to go. He runs it down. They know when they're pursuing and they're playing the way that they are, what offenses are going to do. They're talented, but they're also really smart players in understanding how they're being attacked.
Oh, wow. A shank. And it is just a mess right now for the world champs. See where they officially marked this ball at the 37. That was a 15-yard punt by Pinion. All Rams here in the 2nd half. Well, the Rams pushed the chips all in when they made the deal to get Matthew Stafford. They have great field position here with under 4.5 to go, 3rd quarter. As they lead 28-14, Rob Gronkowski back out there. Looks like he's okay to continue. Handoff here to Michel. His biggest day as a Ram. Picked up at the end of preseason, gets 2.
Well, when you look at the Rams, and I talked about their running game, they're going to a little bit of a hurry up here. Put a little pressure on this defense. They get right back up on the line.
No running game on either side really to speak of. Stafford loves it. Down the sideline and incomplete for Jefferson.
That ball was money too. Where he put that, when he turned it loose, Jefferson, Carlton Davis was in pretty good position, but he was betting that Van Jefferson would get past him, and he almost made a play. You're going to see when this ball, he knows he's just going to lay it out in front. There's good coverage, and he almost threaded it. You think this offense is a little different with Matthew Stafford at quarterback?
He has completed passes on third down after third down. They've converted 8 straight. Cobb has to spin to make the catch, short of the first down. And the field goal unit comes on for the Rams as Mike Edwards made that play.
Yeah, they were, after that shanked punt, the Rams were in field goal range as soon as they took over possession of the ball.
47-yard try by Gay. He was originally a 5th-round pick by the Buccaneers back in 2019. And it is good. And now 5 for 5 on the year is Matt Gay, and the lead is extended to 17. We'll be right back after this from Progressive.
Progressive presents At Home with Baker Mayfield.
Those big ticket items go up front. That's what draws people in.
You really think people are going to buy these?
Of course.
These my shoulder pads?
They could be. Make me an offer. Is that going to be cash or check or...
17-point game with 3:09 left, quarter number 3. That little exhale by Tom Brady. He knows he's got a big mountain to climb here in L.A. the rest of the way.
Yeah, and he knows he's got to do it by himself because there's no running game to speak of. I mean, you wouldn't have to abandon it if you had something, but they don't. They just can't get anything going on the ground at all, so it's all in the air. And the Rams came after him the last possession, and they got home, and I would anticipate that that's going to continue.
So the ball will come to the 25, and that's where Brady will go to work. As you compare the two quarterbacks and their numbers, there have been 2 sacks in the game, none of Stafford. Five wide receivers in the game, and that pass is caught and almost going to the house was Tyler Johnson, tripped up.
Taylor
at the very end by Rapp.
Yeah, Taylor Rapp, he saved a touchdown. I mean, this is a perfect throw. He hits him in stride, and if Rapp doesn't get him there around the ankles, I mean, it is a house call. Aaron Donald is on the sideline, so they get a chance to try to take advantage.
Pass skips in to Johnson. Brady has found 10 different receivers in this ball game as Donald catches his breath on the sideline and Gronk back in for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I would think you see Aaron Donald over there on the sidelines. That's okay. Let's see if we can hit some of those intermediate throws and something downfield a little bit.
Second and 10. Shoulder fake, Evans first down.
Tom Brady, he's moving defenders. He gets Kenny Young. Young was initially where he was going to be throwing the ball, so he gave that shoulder fake that you're talking about, helped clear up the lane and open up Evans.
Brady, Johnson, And just like that, Tampa Bay is knocking on the door. That one for 31 yards to Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, that's a little area. It's cover 2. So you got a corner and then you got the safety. And in that void right there, he had a reduced split. So it opens it up. And what an adjustment that he makes. This guy, remember that 3rd down and 11 catch he made last year in the divisional game against the Saints?
Yep.
That was a terrific catch. And this is not easy to do. You turn completely around and locate the ball and make the catch. Those are the kinds of things that he can do.
Out of the shotgun, Brady, end zone, incomplete. Johnson again the target, and David Long back there defending.
They're not handling the twist up front very well. At right side of the offensive line. When the Rams have run games, they've not passed it off very well, and so even when they haven't brought people, they've been able to get pressure then in the face of Tom Brady. But this is a really good drive for Tampa Bay.
Aaron Donald back out there for LA.
Yeah, he usually does when they get into the red zone.
Blitz coming. Bucks pick it up. End zone. Gronk can't make the catch. Comes into this one with 3 straight games of 2 touchdown catches. Shutout so far.
They were playing inside out on Gronk. You see Ramsey. He's seeing that route. He sees where Brady's going. He's trying to come off of it. Brady protecting the throw, just got out away from him just a little bit.
Third down and goal.
Yeah, Evans right up here at the top.
Brady throws back of the end zone, incomplete for Gronkowski. It's 4th down, and the field goal unit comes on immediately for the Buccaneers.
Gronkowski attracts a lot of attention down here. I mean, everybody knows the connection that he and Brady have, and down here in the red zone, he's going to be looking for him. He looked for him a couple times. You're going to see 3 defenders slough off. They're in a zone coverage, and they slough underneath it. Oh, yeah, he took a little bit of a hit to the head at the end.
Suckup knocks it through from 26. Back to a 14-point game. And we will welcome you inside our broadcast booth, inside this stadium that has been loud and raucous so far for this one. It's been fun, and we're seeing just all that this Rams offense can do in this ball game. It's been fun to watch.
It has been fun to watch. You know, a lot of talk about how was Matthew Stafford going to be able to handle it. Started out a little bit rough, missed some easy throws that he typically makes, but he's been on fire ever since. And then you put that in this environment. This is a playoff atmosphere here today. Yeah. There's a lot at stake here for week 3, talking about the playoff implications, but that drive by Tampa Bay right there was big, even though just 3 points. But to cut it to a 2-possession game, we're still in the 3rd quarter. It at least keeps them within striking distance. And now can the defense forced a field goal the last time after that shanked punt. Now can they just get off the field without surrendering any points?
Pena knocks it into the back of the end zone. Let's send it down to Aaron.
Well, just watching this Bucs offense come off the field, a lot of frustration as you see Mike Evans here just not happy. They know that drive was going well. They didn't want to settle there for that field goal. He's kind of giving it to it. I've been watching it. He's been kind of banging the bench over here. They know time is a ticking here, and they want to get some more points on the board, obviously, Joe.
Yeah, they had to settle for a field goal, wanted more.
Yeah, I think Evans is wanting more opportunities. You know, and that's what happens. The great competitors, you get in these tight games and you're not playing as well as you'd like as a team, as an offense. You need some scores, and you want the ball in your hands.
Michel picks his way through the right side. One of the best we've seen today, a gain of 11. With a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Well, this is what I was going to say earlier, is that when you look at the Rams, their offense really is built around running the football with their play-action game. Early in games, McVay does not run the ball all that often, but as you move into the second half, then they're running it 50% of the time. You move into the fourth quarter, and that number goes up to almost 70% of the time. So I would expect to see, as they try to secure this win, more opportunities on the ground.
Michel getting plenty of work. After that 11-yard carry, he gets 2.
You know, and that's how we were built, Joe, back in the day with Emmitt Smith, obviously the all-time leading rusher in the National Football League. But early first half of games, we didn't run the ball all that much. And then as we moved through the game, especially in the fourth quarter, when we were securing wins with a lead, you know, we ran the ball. And you build a lead with the passing game, you win the game with the running game at the end and close them out. And that's what the Rams, that's been their formula.
And that does it for the first 3 quarters, 14-point game. Rams happy, frustration on the other side. Fox NFL Sunday, back after this from your local Fox station. We start the fourth quarter, 2nd down and 8 for the Rams, being led by Matthew Stafford, who has really played well. 51st career 300-plus passing day. 4 touchdown passes in the game. No interceptions for the 13th time in his career. The numbers keep piling up. Kupp, first down. And forced out of bounds by the first-year player Delaney, 17 yards on a beauty.
Well, look at this route. Watch how he turns the defender. I mean, that's D. Delaney. We talked about him. He came in off the bench with the injury. But, I mean, you know how excited I get about guys who can run great routes.
Yes.
And I already talked about Kupp and Woods, and there's others around the league, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. And it is an art, and these guys are awfully good at it. And you give Matthew Stafford the kind of time he's had. He hasn't even been sacked yet today.
Only 2 sacks on the young year for Tampa Bay's defense after 48 a year ago. Here's Kupp, right side. Broke 1 tackle as he got away from Devin White. A gain of 6. Here's what Sean McVay had to say about Matthew Stafford. He said, "He's made me a better coach. He's elevated our entire building." And look at that blitz pickup by Sony Michel. There's the quote, and it's just a good combination. Either way you want to take it, from quarterback up to coach or coach down to quarterback.
No, and they're 2 years apart. Stafford's 33 years old and Sean McVay's 35, and you know, they kind of consummated this trade and hung out in Cabo. You know, I mean, they're going to be spending a lot of vacations together. He keeps playing the way that he is.
It's been impressive. If you think about it, McVay showed up in 2017, and the record speaks for itself. The Rams organization had traded a boatload of picks to get the first overall pick, and they got Jared Goff. As Michel, looks like he's got enough for a first down. Devin White made the stop, and it is a first down. But you think about it, I mean, Goff takes the Rams to the Super Bowl after 2018. They give him a $134 million extension. The last we saw Jared in a Rams uniform was a loss at Green Bay in the divisional round. And they trade Goff 2 first-round picks, a third, to get Stafford, and they're not looking back. I mean, they're thrilled.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you in a minute. They've been all in on trying to win a Super Bowl for many years.
Here's a screen, a wide screen set up for Michel.
I mean, you think about it, between Stafford and Goff, that accounts $45 million on the cap. And then they've got the 3rd highest paid defensive lineman in Aaron Donald at $22 million. The highest paid defensive back, Jalen Ramsey, at $20 million. And Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods each average over $15 million. I mean, that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of your cap absorbed, and these guys are playing to the level that they're being paid. And that's number one. But they've made no bones about it. They are in this for a Super Bowl and have been, and they believe Stafford's the guy to do it.
Michel stopped short of the first down. And while Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl and brought both the offense and defense all back and all coaches, the Rams lost 7 assistant coaches heading into this year.
And I can't even begin to tell you how tough that is for Sean McVay. And it's not just this year. They've been picking off assistant coaches because they came in running this offense. Everybody's been wanting to find the next Sean McVay. And for him to find quality coaches that can, this is not an easy offense. It's complicated.
Here's a throw. Dangerous. Jefferson makes the catch for the first down. They fake the handoff and throw it out to the boundary, and that was dangerous.
Stafford picks it up late. He recognizes the blitz late, so he's late getting off, aborting the play fake, and he knows. I mean, that could have very easily been a pick six the other way, and then we got a whole different ball game. That's why Stafford gave that look. Sometimes you get away with them, and he got away with that one. Not only the fact that it wasn't intercepted, but they pick up the first down. When things are going good, they're going good.
Handoff to Michel is going to be sore after this game, a gain of 1. Tomorrow on Fox, the blackout continues on a thrilling 911. TV's high-octane drama is back, wilder than ever. Don't miss a gripping all-new 911 tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
The thing that's been saving this defense through the first 2 weeks has been their ability to create takeaways. And they've not gotten to Stafford. They've not gotten the sack. And they've not gotten a takeaway yet today either. But if there was a time for one, now's the time.
Handoff to Woods out of the backfield. And a gain of 4.
That's a lot. I mean, to be able to put Robert Woods in the backfield, they run a lot of those jet sweeps with him. We've seen that over the years. But to put him in the backfield and hand him the ball and let him run between the tackles, he's been one of my favorite players in the league for a while. And it's because of being able to do those kinds of things that just not a lot of receivers get much satisfaction in.
Stafford Cup. And out of bounds, about a yard short of another first down, forced out by White.
He's going to be just short based on the spot, and this is one here where I could see, well, now they're saying on one side, no, it's 4th down. So here, this is where I could see McVay going for it. I mean, this.
Well, it also presents an opportunity here for Tampa Bay.
Well, it does, and a field goal does make it a 3-score game as well.
Tampa Bay needs a stop. 13th play of this drive. And McVay came sprinting down with those 35-year-old legs to call it timeout.
Charge timeout. Los Angeles.
I think he's going to settle for the 3 points, knowing it's a 3-point game. It's the way the defense is played. Maybe they try to draw him off sides, but I just can't. I just can't see right here. I understand why you'd want to, but I would think they're going to settle for the 3 points.
Well, next Sunday on Fox, Sam Darnold leads the undefeated Panthers against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Russell Wilson leads the Seahawks in an NFC West battle against the 49ers. Check local listings for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. One final note with the switch of quarterbacks with Goff to Stafford. Goff was the last first-round pick the Rams have had in 2016, and they don't have another first-round pick until 2024.
That's what you call all in.
That's all in. So much for quote-unquote draft capital. They used it to get Stafford, and they're thrilled. 26-yarder good by Matt Gay, and the lead back to 17 for the Rams. Well, it is who's who here, whether you're the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, our Winnie, our buddy Dave Winfield, formerly of Fox Sports on our baseball coverage, and then a guy in front of Dave Winfield that you know rather well, Troy.
Yeah, Norv Turner, enjoying retirement.
Star-studded event as Jalen Darden tries this near side and returns it for 22. Back to work is Tom Brady in a 17-point game. And I think priority number one is keeping Brady protected.
Well, I agree, and they've got to get the ball down the field, right? So that Aaron Donald, he sat out early on some of these possessions. He's in the game. He's in the game right now, ready to accumulate some sack totals.
Brady well protected. Evans, who was upset on the bench a moment ago, good for 17 to start this possession.
Yeah, the Rams guarding against the big play, but yeah, you don't give up the big play, but you're giving up big chunks. Down 3 scores. I'd expect them to even go at a faster pace than what we saw there.
This one floated for Gronkowski and just out of his reach, covered by a corner. Darius Williams.
Darius Williams, he's given up quite a bit there. You've got Gronkowski, who's 6'6", and Darius Williams at 5'9". So, you know, you give Gronkowski a chance, he's going to be able to make a play, even if it's like a back shoulder throw. I think Brady would like to see that matchup again, but Gronk, he's clearly just fighting through the injury that he suffered earlier.
2nd and 10. Brady ducks under, throws, pass was tipped, and flags on the play in the secondary. Taylor Rapp tipped it. And he's going to argue that because the ball was tipped, there shouldn't be pass interference.
Yeah, they can review that, so they'd have to challenge it, but I agree that maybe they get together and one of them saw that it was tipped. And
there's no pass interference on the play as the ball was tipped. It'll be 3rd down.
So that makes it 3rd and 10. And Aaron Donald, who came into this game never having sacked Tom Brady in 3 ball games, has 1 in this game. You know he'd like to add to that. Kenny Young has the other sack.
4 straight years for Aaron Donald with at least 11 sacks.
Rams take a timeout on defense. Let's take a look at some of the action from earlier today and some of the results. Fun week 3. Good games that we were watching, including this one. Before we kicked off here in LA, the Chargers rallied past the Kansas City Chiefs. Herbert, a big day coming off the loss against Dallas. Odell Beckham Jr. back for Cleveland. Josh Allen and the Bills take it to the Washington football team. 4 touchdown passes and a rush touchdown for Josh.
Yeah, huge win for the Chargers against a division rival, and you know what that does for a young team's confidence, and especially a young quarterback. You know, that's a team that could very easily be 3-0. They lost a tough game, a very winnable game last Sunday to the Cowboys.
Third down and 10. Brady to Gronk. He's got some ground to cover and he won't get there. Ripped to the ground by Hollins. The Bucs are going to be forced to go for it.
Yeah, they're in 4-down territory here on out. pretty soft up top.
Brady flips too high. Incomplete for Bernard. And the Rams will take over on downs. Terrell Lewis got up off the ground, and Brady tried to flip it over him, and he overthrew Bernard in the process. A stop by the Rams defense. They're in control here in week 3, up 17. Well, we will for sure go out in this game talking about Matthew Stafford, but you have to also credit this Rams defense for the job they've done against Brady and the Bucs offense. 17-point game. Rams have scored on their last 6 possessions. Here's Michel. And Sony down near the 32.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. The defense has been outstanding, and what oftentimes goes overlooked is the coaching staff. And Sean McVay and Raheem Morris, they had answers for everything that Tampa Bay threw at them today. It's just great coaching on their part. You talked a little bit earlier about the 7 coaches that they lost from their staff and replacing those guys, and to be able to come in an early season game, a big game, the defending world champs, that coaching staff deserves a lot of credit too.
Stafford is sacked for the first time, and getting home is Golston. And any semblance of a chance to come back in this game has to start with a stop here.
Yeah, Golston, he's able to get past Havenstein, and Stafford just not wanting to take a chance with the ball at all, and really unable to unload it as well. You know, I think McVay was, you know, definitely wanting to get out of this game without giving up a sack, but the sack now knocks him, you know, really back on a 2nd and long.
22 to be exact. Toss to Michel. Nowhere to go. Lavonte David there to make the stop. Tom?
Joe, we've talked about how Matthew Stafford has lifted others in the building. Speaking with Andrew Whitworth, his offensive lineman, the 39-year-old, he talked about one particular anecdote where the 2 families got together. Whitworth mentioned his son had a Little League game the next morning. Without any mention to anyone, Stafford and his entire family show up at the Little League game, and Stafford spends the day inside the dugout with the coaches and the players. According to Whitworth, that's worth as much or more than anything else a quarterback does on field, Joe.
100%.
Hand off to Michel on 3rd and 22, doing all he can, but it's 4th down. And let's check in with Kurt, who has a game break.
All right, after blowing a 14-0 lead, Miami finds itself down by 8. Closing seconds, Jacoby Brissett with 2 ticks left scores the touchdown. Obviously, they go for 2, and they get it. So we go to overtime, tied at 25. This is the Raiders' 2nd overtime game in the first 3 weeks. Joe?
Yeah, and for Las Vegas, they're trying to get to 3-0, and Miami is trying to get to 2-1 on the young season. You've known Stafford a long time, with him growing up in Dallas, and yeah, I know you've been impressed with you when you met with him when he was basically a kid.
Yeah, great family too. Boy, his mom and dad, what a super job they did raising him, and he won a state title his senior year, much like John Stephen Jones did for the Highland Park Scots. But yeah, just he's the same kid today he was back in the day. Not a kid anymore, but just a delightful guy, and it's awesome to see him doing what he's been doing.
Flag down on the punt. A juggling catch is made by the rookie Darden.
They might get the Bucs for offsides, which, if that's the case, it puts the Rams in field goal range if they want to do it.
Boy, that would be insult to injury for Bruce Arians.
Offside. Defense, number 48. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 1st down.
Instead, we're just going to play on.
Yep.
So they decline it. after Tampa Bay lined up offside with their punt return team. Under 5 to go. And the Rams knocking on the door of a 3-0 start. You better pile up wins in this division when you can get them. Arizona's 3-0. San Francisco will try to get to 3-0 against the Packers tonight. Brady. Dangerous throw, and what a play made by Kenny Young. They're going to say it is a catch, and the tackle made immediately on Bernard by Young.
You know, you look at this series here about Tom Brady in the game, knowing what they have before him. You know, a much anticipated showdown at New England next week.
Brady, Godwin, who has a rushing touchdown in this game. He's going to be just short of first down yardage. He got 11. Ramsey on the stop. Only 2 timeouts left for Tampa Bay.
41, Rita. He's middle.
Here's Bernard. Nice catch and run. And a first down. That Arians that got taken down?
Yeah, you got to be careful, boy, over there. They come in hot there on that sidelines. Fortunately,
he just popped right back
up.
Yeah,
sure. Bruce being the veteran. Ooh. Wow, that knee will be a little sore in the morning. He took it right on the knee. He's up. You're right. He's hobbling a little bit. Yeah, that's smart.
On first down, Evans, short gain. With this Rams defense flying around. Here's another look at that play, and watch the left knee, heck, even the right knee a bit.
Yeah, he might have slightly hyperextended that knee a little bit. That I can promise you, he'll be in the training room getting some treatment.
Brady, great first down.
Yeah, right now the Rams just guarding against giving up the big play, and they'll give up those all day.
Godwin, perfect throw between 3 defenders and down at the 40.
Yeah, the linebackers, for the situation to be what it is, Kenny Young, he's playing pretty flat-footed. Nobody was threatening him. You'd expected him to get dropped underneath that throw.
Brady gets hit as he lets it fly. That play was made by Lewis and incomplete for Brate. Well, we know in the NFC South, we were just there as Carolina and Sam Darnold went to 3-0 with a win in Houston. Here's Tampa Bay in danger of dropping their first of the year. New Orleans got a win over New England earlier today. And then Atlanta's on the board with a win.
Well, Carolina's schedule's about to heat up a little bit. They're traveling to Dallas. They've got Philadelphia and Minnesota the next 3 weeks. None of these games are easy to win, but it was about as favorable an opening 3 games as it could be for Carolina.
Here is a catch somehow by Bernard as he was laying on the turf.
You know, I will say, though, Joe, you look back to last year, week 11, that was that stretch. Tampa was not playing very good on offense. They didn't play well against the Saints a week or 2 earlier, and the following week they didn't play well, and then they got it going. And it's still early. They are not the team we saw last year for sure.
Brady slides down, and Ramsey goes over the top. A carry of 9 yards. And we are at the 2-minute warning here in Inglewood. Rams on their way to a 3-0 start, giving Brady and the Bucs, the world champs, loss number 1. As we welcome you back, this big crowd packed in. They've had fun all day long. It is a scene here in Inglewood. Coming up next is the OT presented by 911.
I drove by the stadium last night around 5 o'clock, and there were people already tailgating out in the parking lot. They were all in.
You join them? Hey, everybody. How you doing? Troy Aikman. Yeah, good to meet you.
Just for a couple.
Godwin takes it down to the 19-yard line. Sets up a first down from there for Tampa Bay. Brady is sacked as he gets popped by Leonard Floyd.
Oh, thank God, get him out of there. Bruce Arians is out on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean, when they got the ball here down by 17, you thought the main thing they have to do is leave here with a healthy Brady. Well, we welcome in a new audience that joins us. There's the crew with Richie Zients, our producer, Rich Russo, our director, and glad to have you. I would say, just to sum this up, and there are many different ways you can go, but the easy way to look at it is Matthew Stafford, Troy, showed the Rams and showed the Rams fans and showed the rest of the NFL exactly what he can do and exactly why they went out to pair him with Sean McVay. It was impressive here today.
Yes, I think the first 2 weeks were, like I said, week 1 against the Bears, he was almost flawless. Last week, bringing the team back, winning the game against the Colts. But this was going to be the big test. You know, where is this team and where's Matthew Stafford as a championship quarterback? And they made a statement here against Tampa Bay, both of them, Matthew Stafford and the entire team.
On Tampa Bay's side, they couldn't run. They didn't create really any pressure defensively. They got 1 sack here late, that's it. And with the injuries now in their secondary piling up, they lost Jamel Dean. They're already without Sean Murphy-Bunting. A lot of pressure on Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, to figure that out. Evans throws a stiff arm into Darius Williams and sets up 1st and goal.
You know, we've got the Rams. They dive into divisional play starting next week, hosting Arizona, and then they travel a game we'll have on a Thursday night at Seattle. And I think, you know, we talked about this division earlier. What a great division the NFC West is. I mean, there's 4 teams that are playoff caliber teams.
Brady over the middle, Bernard, touchdown. Gets hit and flips into the end zone.
So they are going to lose this game, but man, they have, it has taken a toll. They're losing players too, players that are contributors. You know, Bernard's now down on the ground. They're checking on him. Good to see that Gronkowski came back.
That hit was right into his left knee.
Yeah. Yeah. So this has been a tough game for Tampa Bay in more ways than one.
Well, we'll give you some highlights from today since we have a new audience joining us as they check on Giovanni Bernard, trying to fill that 3rd down back roll that they've been looking for since they got Brady. Tyler Higbee got the scoring started. Then it was a touchdown run by Chris Godwin. Cooper Kupp spinning for the touchdown wide open from Stafford, who got red hot and was just picking apart this defense, including this bomb to Deshaun Jackson, who reminds us all of what he can do. Brady pounded it in from a yard away. And then Kupp again, his 2nd of the day, able to dive in. A field goal would follow. Now this touchdown by Bernard. But he's in some pain. They drafted Keyshawn Vaughn to fill this role, but they've kind of displaced him by picking up Bernard. They had LaShawn McCoy, who was at the end of a phenomenal career last year, and they need Bernard. They want to leave here with him okay.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, we've talked a lot about the Rams and all the good things that they've done. Jason Light, the GM for Tampa Bay, to continue to accumulate talent like Gio Bernard and give Brady another weapon, a guy 3rd down back that can come out of the backfield, maintaining all 22 starters. A lot of good stuff that he's done.
He's been great. Extra point is just good. This was a nice touch. This year is the 75th anniversary of the LA Rams breaking the color barrier in the NFL when they signed LA natives and UCLA standouts Kenny Washington and Woody Strode. Earlier today, Rams players received copies of the new book, The Forgotten First, by Keyshawn Johnson and Bob Glauber. Chronicles Washington and Strode's stories. The books were placed in their lockers with a note from the organization prior to the game. Nice touch by Sean McVay or Kevin Demoff or Stan Kroenke or whoever came up with that idea. So education on the past in this league, and with those two players in the Rams, this is the 75th anniversary. Washington and Strode, by the way, teammates of Jackie Robinson at UCLA, one of the most celebrated backfields in college history.
Speaking of UCLA, a big win against the Stanford Cardinal.
There we go. Yes, I'm proud for you. I'm happy for you.
We're 3-1. Keep it rolling, Chip. Let's go, buddy.
Here comes an onside kick try with 1:10 left. Takes that high hop. They had a shot at it. And it looks to be corralled by Los Angeles, and it is. It was well done on that attempt by Pinion. But Cooper Kupp, of course, comes up with it. Hey, we were just looking ahead a minute ago. How about the game Tom Brady has coming up? How's that going to be?
Well, both teams coming off tough losses. You know, New England losing to New Orleans earlier today. It'll be something. I mean, that's one that I'll be tuned into.
Oh yeah, the whole league will. Brady and the Bucs go to Foxborough to see his old coach next Sunday night. Speaking of Bill Belichick, our crew, we're on to Cincinnati.
Yes, we are. We are on to Cincinnati, Thursday Night Football.
Jacksonville at the Bengals on NFL Network. Those two, by the way, are best friends, Whitworth and McVay. Whitworth hanging out with his much younger head coach.
I love that, when your best friend is your head coach, or your best friend is your left tackle.
Just like you and Jimmy.
Well, yeah. But
now,
yeah, I mean,
Rams win this one, and this was an impressive showing on both sides of the ball by Los Angeles. They're 3-0, Tampa Bay 2-1, and we will step aside but come back here to Inglewood after the break.